A little over a year ago, I was looking through the many wonderful games on Roblox and found something called A Dream You've Had Before. When I joined, the first thing I saw was just a bland empty house, but then the game loaded, and I saw that the walls were covered in picture frames, containing notes and images placed by other users on Roblox, the one item in my inventory allowing me to place my own. It slowly became apparent what this game was, a place where users could anonymously or unanonymously leave permanent messages or pictures for anyone on the platform to see. As I looked around, I saw many different things. Some cool, some inspiring, most of them depressing to be honest, some just random, and I definitely saw a few messages that the original uploaders wish they could have removed. If it wasn't obvious, a lot of the earlier notes are from when the game was first created in 2021. Wow! Eventually I found a staircase, and walking up it led me to the next floor, which had a different layout, but even more pictures. I continued traversing up the stairs to all the different floors. Some of them had unique items, a few were flooded, a few were snowy, and a few were ominously dark. Eventually around the 80s I found some space to put down some notes of my own, and I proceeded to make the exact same mistake that people before me did on this game. However, during my travels I had began to notice a few strange things. I noticed spider webs in the corner that were getting larger as I went up. A few certain floors had clocks that all of the notes around said not to look at, and the whole liminal vibe of this game was making me start to question if there was more to this.
Be quiet.
I won't lie, the first time this happened to me, I left instantly. I didn't touch the game for a bit other than to show my friends around the walls, but eventually, many months later, I came back because I still had so many questions. How many floors were there? How many different floor variants are there? And what happens when you look at the clock? But my revisit to the game only ended in more questions. I ended up seeing people on the server list above floor 7,000 and even in the negatives, which I didn't know was possible, and I couldn't figure out how to get there either. This is when I decided to look further into the game as a whole, and the first thing I did was check the badges. Typically badges are very clear on how you get them, or they at least give some sort of hint on how, but most of this game's badges were incredibly cryptic, and didn't state how to get them at all. The weirdest part of it all was the incredibly low victor count on nearly all of them. For scale, the game's You Joined badge has about 5 million victors, but 8 out of these 14 badges had less than 10,000, and 5 out of 14 had under 2,000. However, there were 2 badges that clearly stood out as the hardest, being the only ones with under 1,000 victors today. The first one, Judgement, like all of the other cryptic badges, simply said, "It's not worth worrying about, trust me." But the second one, Fate, was very clear, reading, "Awarded to players who dare walk to floor -3,623. It is not advised to attempt to get this." So I decided to go ahead and attempt them all. To start off, I'll go over the 3 of 14 badges I had already obtained. The first one, Entry, is just for joining the game, and is barely an achievement. The second one, I Don't Remember Your Face, is obtained by not standing still when you're told to be quiet. You'll receive 3 warnings before an entity referred to as the Shadow spawns.
Be quiet. He can hear you. He is going to find you.
Getting close to the stairs will kill you and grant you the badge. The third badge, Bad Memory, is obtained by looking at a clock. The way this works is that if you look at a clock for more than 9 seconds, all the notes will fall off the walls and the walls will start to close in until you die. This event grants you the badge and is also the reason why many people tell you not to look. Hold on. Oh, I looked at the clock. Well, here come the walls. Well. Now, onto the rest of the badges. I decided to start from easiest, going in order of how many people had gotten each badge. This made my first badge in line Basement. I assumed this was how people got into negative floors, so I'd have to get down somehow. There was a suspicious locked door on floor 0, so I tried looking for a key. And after searching a bit, I found some very helpful notes that likely saved me a few hours of frustration because, oh my god, how is anyone supposed to find that, bro? Like, it's completely invisible unless your camera's inverted like this, which is so annoying. But here we go. Got the basement key. Now I can just reset, I believe. And right here is the locked door. Use this. Oh. Hello. Okay, so apparently it's not this door. Where the heck am I supposed to go? Under the stairs, maybe, surely. Oh. Oh, there, okay. Hey, and there we go. Okay, not the door I expected it to be, but we're here. I actually don't know how to navigate this. I don't know if it's the same room generation as the upper things. I've never been in here. Okay. Oh my god, what are these pictures? These decals, by the way, the large ones, are 3,000 Robux. So each one of these images of "do you fart" cost this person 3,000 Robux. So the Victor count drops drastically from this badge to the next badge, which is waking up. What past me said here was no underestimation. The basement badge has over 100,000 victors, but the next badge in line, waking up, has only 15% of that at, well, 15,000 victors. It's harder, but it's nothing I can't handle, so I'll break it down. Remember how I said there were lots of random objects earlier? Well, those come into play with this badge. One of those items caught my eye, being a TV on floor 9, which was making a beeping sound. Taking a closer look, I realized it blinked a message for about half a second when the beep played. Screenshotting the message, it reads, "You won't get out of here. You need to go further. You'll have a chance to get into the future. Tell them where you found me." I listened to the TV and went further up, and that's when I found the second object of importance, a lectern. Unlike every object so far, the lectern allows for interaction. Walking up to it, you're prompted with a box that says "Enter message." I did as the TV said, and said where I found it, being on floor 9. My screen went black, and... Oh! Yo! What the... I was up way high. So high that my avatar was glitching out. But I hadn't gotten any badge yet, so I kept going up. However, being up this high had also changed another thing. Remember those spiders that I said kept getting bigger? Well, they got pretty big. Bigger than me. And I figured out the hard way that they aren't nice about it. Oh! Okay. After going all the way back up, I continued to ascend, confused on what to do, until I saw a floor named Die to Shadow on floor 3707. I was incredibly doubtful at first, as people in this game like to trick you into dying, but as I ascended to said floor, I saw lots of people talking about actually doing it, along with an incredibly helpful note telling me to grab the key under the rug. This was enough for me, so I decided to let the shadow get me. This should be correct. Yep, here we are. Okay, I was in a maze. I instantly tried looking around for the rug that was mentioned on the note, and eventually found it. I got the key from under, and in front of it was a door, which brought me right back to floor 10 when I walked through it. Being back on the lower levels, I decided to give that door on floor 0 another try, and I was again brought to another new location. There was a path leading out towards an ominous black box, which I walked towards. The game started slowing me down as I walked towards it, but I eventually reached it, and I was met with this cutscene. Bam! There it is. I actually don't know what like this happens in this. Oh, a vine boom. Amazing. There's the badge though. And I'm kicked. That took me exactly an hour to get, actually. I just looked at my recording. I'm gonna go eat a grilled cheese now. And I'll
start getting the rest of the badges once I'm done with that.
For the record, I burnt my grilled cheese, but I didn't have time to worry about that as I had to get the next badge in line, Passage. And I just want to say that I knew a little bit about this badge before getting it. Floor 204 is named Passage by the game's creator, Forslug. It has a locked door and someone's note next to it reads, "I have passage key." I had absolutely no clue how to get a passage key, and I didn't want to have another basement key incident, so I looked it up just to figure out that it was a random spawn from floors 1 to 100, meaning it could not only spawn under snow, but also possibly underwater or in a dark room. So I prepared myself for a long search party. I just gotta really hope I don't miss this thing, or that it didn't spawn on a water floor, or a snow floor, or even a darkness floor. So, you know, actually, I'd take a darkness floor over a snow or water one. Oh my! Oh my god, thank god, okay. Oh my god. That is like the greatest thing that has ever happened. Okay, here we are, yeah. Let's go. Inside the passage, the walls were covered with weird mushrooms that had eyes, and surprisingly, I was granted the badge instantly. Something felt off. I thought surely there had to be something more here, so I continued going down the passage. After a few minutes of walking, I knew I had done something right, as there was a room with a bunch of notes reading, "Wake up, wake up, wake up." Despite reading anonymous, these notes could not be viewed from clicking on them, meaning they were not placed by a player. I thought this could have been Nightmare at first from the notes, but later figured out it was actually Sleepwalk, the next badge. One of the rooms contained a strange block on the floor reading, "Say the date of 7463. I assumed I would have to solve whatever this is to get past, and I ended up getting stuck on it for an actual hour. I eventually gave up, but I came up with a little game to reveal the answer. I'm going to list 3 thoughts that I had on how to possibly solve this puzzle, and one way that's the actual way to solve it. So, is it A, type the date 7,463 days from today? B, type the date 7,463 days after the game was uploaded? C, type the date 7,463 days after the passage badge was created? Or D, type the date 7,463 days after the creator of the game was born? Yeah, I don't know how I was supposed to figure that out, but when I did, it gave me a teddy bear, which left me even more confused. I thought for a bit and decided to take a gamble. There was nothing else in the rooms, so I reset my character. Why? To go to the basement. You see, when I was in the basement earlier, I encountered a little crying girl on one of the floors. My assumption was that the teddy bear was hers, so I reset my character, leaving the passage to try giving it to her. Yep, hi. Okay, take this, please. Please take it. I thought I had died for sure, but I was then teleported into the sky for the last area of this badge. There was a floating house, which I walked up to and entered. Inside of the house was a computer telling me to input a code. You'd think that this code would have taken me a long time, but if you've played other Forslug games, you'd recognize that this is the house from Your Last Thoughts at the End of Time, another game which is basically a predecessor to a dream you've had before. The code is pretty simple, it's just the game's ID shown in the URL. After typing it in, I was granted a bedroom key, and then teleported back to floor 0. I now had a new key, so I went to the last locked door that I knew of, which was in the corner of floor 1, and upon entering it, I saw myself, but inside of a bed. You're actually supposed to be lying down here, but I was in R6, so it glitched. This scene is of course referencing the badge's name, Sleepwalk. Getting closer to the bed, I was granted the badge. Alright, let's go. Sleepwalk acquired. I decided that this was enough for today, and I was especially hesitant because of the next badge in line, Bottom. Now, it didn't mean going to the true bottom, because that's what Fate is. However, having already looked into Fate, I knew the structure of the descent. Basement floors stop at floor -667, and from then on you enter cellar floors, which are just a big winding staircase that wraps around the walls. If you fall down the middle, you die. Cellar floors stop at -1000, and from then on, Fate floors start until -3623, so I figured this was the point I needed to reach. However, it wasn't just as easy as walking down there. To get to the bottom of the basement and into the cellar, I need to unlock another door with a cellar key. Yup, that's right. Time to get key number 5, babe. The first thing you need to know about the cellar key is that it's not like any of the other keys. If you've been paying really close attention, you may have noticed notes in front of each floor that are signed off by the floor number themselves, being different on each server. None of the numbers on any notes went over 26, so it was pretty clear that they were number substitution ciphers, a very simple cipher where you switch out numbers for their corresponding alphabet letter, 1 being A, 2 being B, 3 being C, and going on. I descended while writing the numbers on each note into a text file, and I may or may not have not known when to stop. 14, 6, 20, 55, 21, 18, 5, 14. Look at this, bro. It might have started repeating at some point. I might be like stupid. Anyway, once I finally noticed that they were repeating, I started deciphering just to figure out that they deciphered into more numbers. So I used the number substitution cipher on those numbers, and it finally deciphered into a phrase, being "say uniform echo." When I said the phrase in chat, I was granted the cellar key. Yes! Got it! I have the cellar key. For the record, this phrase is different in every server, so if you want the key, you gotta decipher the server's phrase yourself. It probably would have been a really good idea to start deciphering the notes as I was taking them, so I didn't, like, do twice the amount of writing down numbers that I needed to, but it's okay, I have this now. Anyways, this is literally gonna take me over an hour, so I think I'm just gonna put on some chill music and speed this footage up. So I mindlessly walked down the floors. The lower I got, the more desolate they became. It got to a point where some floors were nearly entirely barren. However, I did notice one reoccurring player, going by the name of Cat, cheering on people who were attempting this badge. Cat's notes were nice to read, as I had my chat closed for most of the descent, but when I opened it as I was reaching the bottom, I could have never expected what I saw. Okay, I'm almost here, yo. Anyone talk to me in chat? Yo, this cat guy is in my server. I've been seeing these notes while heading all the way down. This right here. As I entered the cellar and began to slowly walk down the spiraling staircase, I ended up talking with Cat for a bit. He explained that he was a mad Robux spender who loved the basement. However, he grew to hate his account as he gained popularity through this game. He respectfully asked to not be made popular, so I hope I'm not doing him wrong by putting him in this video. I trust you all not to bother him. However, as I descended, someone named Chronosquish joined and started accusing Cat of being a bully. I was very confused, as Cat's notes in the basement had been really nice, but Chronosquish explained that he had seen these notes while getting to floor 10,000. Another person in chat then asked, "So you got judgment?" Ignoring the fact that I now knew I would have to reach not only floor -3623, but also floor 10,000, it was nice to have some company while walking. It was obvious that Cat and Chronosquish were just friends, and it was really nice to hear these unique stories from players of this game. It took another hour just to descend the last 333 floors to get to the bottom, but I eventually made it. This has been so monotonous, I would have gone insane if it weren't for the people in chat actually talking to me. This guy Declan over here is going for Roof, which is a badge I haven't gotten yet, hoping that they can get it just as I can get Bottom. It really is crazy how long it takes to get here. I mean, I'm just saying, I have to get here to start Fate, and getting here alone has took me 2.5 hours. Fate is longer than that. My guess is that it'd honestly take like 8 to 10. But here we are. Holy shit. I've officially made it. Not yet. And here we are. Floor -1,000. I don't think there's any note space here. Oh my god, that's the door to Fate right there. Jeez. I'm very scared of what's down here. Anyway, I'm gonna go drop down here if it lets me. This is the Fate beginning room. And the next room is where Fate actually starts. The next room is the actual final floor before Fate, and in it is a guide to those who attempt the badge. It reads, "I strongly advise you not to attempt this unless you are aware of the consequences. At floor -3623, your fate will be determined and publicly broadcasted. There is no mercy for losing connection or dying. This journey will take you several hours, and your reward will be a single badge. Majority of these floors will be timed, however you can take a break at floor -2000. For every 10 people who obtain this badge, it will get more difficult. Good luck. Now, I just want to say, there is a lot more to Fate than just mentioned in this guide. However, since what's going to happen now is barely an attempt, I'll just let the clip speak for itself and explain the whole thing later. Oh god. I'm not sure what that eye does, but I don't really like how they look at me. Oh my god, there's cats. Where's the... Oh, it's down here, okay. Yes. Yeah, as you saw, I couldn't get that, especially considering there's no shift lock, so I can't just, like, align myself and, like, walk through them. But yeah, that's my first bottom. That's my technical first attempt at Fate. Amazing. Anyway, the bottom badge took me 2.5 hours to complete, but to even start the next few badges, I was going to do something else entirely. You see, when I was studying Fate, I noticed that the people playing it had a lantern. This lantern would be a very useful tool for not only Fate, but the upcoming badges I had to get as well. The twist is, the lantern is not obtained from any badge in a dream you've had before. In order to get a lantern in a dream you've had before, you have to get the badge A Light in 4Slug's other game, Your Last Thoughts at the End of Time. I had played this game once before, but I hadn't done anything other than read notes. This is because there are no badges inside of the house you spawn in. Looking out, I saw a lighthouse and thought that surely to get a light, I'd have to make it up there. I thought this wouldn't take that long, but this game is not what it seems. You see, once you leave the starting house, everything goes red, dark, and your range of vision drops to near zero. You also enter the target area of the game's only enemy, floating orbs. These orbs will home to you no matter where they are and instantly kill you upon contact. On top of that, your only saving grace is a very dysfunctional old Roblox car. Being in the car will make it harder for the glowing orbs to touch you, but controlling it is a nightmare, especially when orbs are pushing against it. I also couldn't even see the entire path to the lighthouse from spawn. I could only make out the path that put me in the general direction of it, so I just had to stick to the road from that point and pray I was going in the right direction. Just to summarize everything, I was near blindly driving a broken old Roblox car, desperately trying to keep track of the road in front of me, all while being constantly targeted by a bunch of glowing orbs that would instantly kill me if they touched me. I even ended up joining the game on my phone and driving a second car out in hopes of distracting the orbs, but half the time they still went for me instead and got me killed. This all took me an infuriating 3 hours of attempts to do. Up until now, the gameplay of these badges had gotten repetitive or boring at times, but never outright unfun. I originally had this part edited as a montage, but you just couldn't tell what was happening. I mean, can you tell where I am in this clip? I'm actually right at the end, about to get there. After the most annoying 3 hours of my life, I climbed up the lighthouse, touched the light, and I was awarded a cold night. I was still given a string of numbers, but I figured out that they were nothing more than the ID to another entirely different badge, aggression. I didn't know if I needed aggression for a light. I didn't know how I'd even get aggression. There were no more hints. None of the other badge descriptions told me anything helpful. I even deciphered the notes when you die, but they were all just existential messages from 4Slug. All that was clear to me was that the 3 hours of suffering I had just went through were for absolutely nothing. Being at a complete dead end, I looked it up to figure out that a light is not anywhere on the map. To get it, you must get 5 other badges, some even from completely different games. You also must get all 5 badges in a specific order, as some of them are completely unobtainable until you get the ones before them. Once you have them all, you rejoin the game and are granted the badge out of nowhere. If it wasn't apparent, Your Last Thoughts at the End of Time doesn't have nearly as good puzzle design as its successor, as nothing in the game clues you into any of this. So, for a light, and only for a light, I only let the raw difficulty of these badges hold me back. But I'll still explain each puzzle. The first badge is in a different game called Tragic. Tragic starts off in a maze. Navigating to the middle, you're met with a burning tree that eventually collapses upon itself, opening a hole. Jumping into the hole, you get ridiculed by 4Slug, and then prompted with one of 3 questions. The first question is very easy. It asks, "Where am I?" while giving you a set of coordinates. The coordinates are to Silver City, so you just have to type that in there. The second question is a bit harder. It prompts you to find a code in Forceluck's bio, but by using a way to look into the internet's past. Basically, you have to use the Wayback Machine on Forceluck's profile. There are many different backups, however only 2 before the creation of this game. The one in 2019 has the code, being a date, 3:30. This is the answer. Now the third question is where it goes from mediocre puzzle to this is just stupid. The message reads, 3:30 used to mean a lot to me. What date meant more? You can't just find this answer by using the internet or anything. It's hidden in a completely different game. To get to this game, you have to walk all the way out under a bridge in Your Last Thoughts at the End of Time and touch an invisible teleporter only marked by notes. You then had to get a friend in the game, shoot that friend, and you would get the date, 3:16. I don't think I have to explain why it's bad puzzle design to do this, as nothing clues you into this being the answer, but typing it in, Forceluck gives you the badge and rightfully calls you a maniac. At this point, I tried to get the second badge in the game, Found, before realizing that you can't get that badge until you have a different badge from Your Last Thoughts at the End of Time. So for now, I was back in hell. The next badge in the order was Clouds, and I just want to preface, Clouds is an absolute nightmare. You not only have to drive all the way out to the lighthouse, but at the top there is a thin, invisible platform that extends out into the sky. You have to walk all the way across this platform without falling to the cloud at the end, which gives you the badge. I was absolutely devastated after finding out I'd have to go back to the lighthouse and also possibly fail again. But I got back in the game, and after what felt like forever, I finally got another good attempt. Dear God, please tell me I'm in the... Yes, dude, let's go. No! Oh my... No. Oh. Why are they all chasing after me again? I'm so close again, it's just that they're all here. Again. They just all gotta be here on me for no reason. I can drive in. I'm gonna win. Listen, I don't got time for this. Yes! Oh my god. Let me in. Oh my god. I cannot mess this up from now, bro. I cannot mess this up, bro. Cloud here. Okay, now I need to like align myself to be walking perfectly straight. This is gonna be a nightmare if I mess this up, dude. My best bet is just going. I was devastated by this fail, and rightfully so. The invisible path seemed like a near impossible obstacle. I left the game, wondering if I should just give up for the day, but I didn't know what else to do. This seemed nearly impossible, but I still had a bit of hope. You see, upon getting the badge Alight, you not only get access to the lantern in a dream you had before, but you also get access to lanterns in Your Last Thoughts at the End of Time. Lanterns are infinitely more powerful in this game, as they negate nearly everything about the darkness. There's also nothing stopping you from picking up lanterns dropped by other players with the Light badge. If I could just find someone to give me lanterns, I could make this badge go from an impossible nightmare to actually obtainable. And when I joined back, I found who would be my savior for this badge. So what has it? What has it? What has it? Shout out this guy. I actually have lanterns. Oh my god, I can see up to like a whole 20 feet in front of me. I've got a couple lanterns, so it's not the end of the world if this one goes wrong, but I would really like to just wrap it up. So they're coming. Here's the tunnel. Oh, there's one attempt down. I'm actually becoming like a master at driving these old Roblox cars. Stay away from me. I'm calm, I'm collected. I will make it there. Let's go. Alright, now that I can see the platform, there should be no way I mess this up. God. Okay, I see it. Yep. Oh god, it's so hard to make out. Oh my god. Yes! Yes, dude! Oh my god, I got it. Oh my god, I got clouds. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Now that I was done with that, I could finally go back to Tragic. The cat in the clouds game told me to find it, and now that I had heard its speech, I could finally see it in Tragic. Getting near the cat, I got granted the Found badge, and having found it, I returned to it in the clouds, and I was thanked by being granted the Thank You badge. This was finally enough. I had all of the badges I needed, and when I rejoined Your Last Thoughts at the end of time, I was granted the A Light badge, and I had a lantern. Yeah! Now, after all that work, I could finally go back to progressing in a dream you had before. First things first, I had to actually go get my lantern, as it wasn't instantly granted to me when I joined the server. If you were paying attention, you might have recognized that the maze in Tragic is the exact same maze in a dream you had before on floor 7307. I returned back there by dying to the shadow on that floor, and walked over to where the cat was in Tragic. By typing here, the cat granted me my lantern. This does not work if you don't have the A Light badge. Anyway, it was time to attempt my next badge, Roof. Fortunately for me, I knew what this badge was already, as while I was attempting Bottom, another person in my server, going by the name of Declan, was attempting Roof. He claimed to have beaten it when he reached floor 700. So I got to getting right up there. The ascent seemed pretty normal at first. Spiders reached a big enough size to kill me at around floor 150, so I had to be wary of them. But other than that, I was cruising pretty fine. Until floor 222. If you've ever reached this floor, you'd know that it and the following floors are the game's first set of nightmare floors. These floors are dark, red, and have more threats. Spiders and clocks will still appear, along with 3 other new threats. There is a chance for the cats from Fate floors to spawn, a chance for certain walls to become vacuum walls, which will slowly pull you towards them, increasing in strength as the floor goes on. And there's also a chance for these evil tentacle monsters to spawn, but they really aren't that dangerous. Anyway, let's see if I can survive. Oh my god. No way there's cats on my first one. Okay, I made it through. Yeah, let's like not have that happen ever again, please. Okay, thankfully I don't have to go there. I'm gonna keep this thing open so you can see what floor I'm on. I don't know when these end, to be honest. Because that implies... Oh my! There's cats. Oh, this is a really bad block. Oh, this is a really bad block. How do I like scream? Oh my god. Okay. This is so hard. Okay. No more cats, please. Thank you. Oh, yeah, okay. I had survived my first set of nightmare floors. There were a total of 3 more sets of them before I reached floor 700, starting at 280, 470, and 493. From then on, I just had to not die to spiders or clocks. Please no cats. Cool. Oh, there's a laser there. Okay. There's a spider there as well. Oh dear, that spider. Oh.
Be quiet.
That's not a threat I expected. Oh, there's cats. And there's a big one right there next to my stairwell. Cool. Okay, oh my god. Well, that's not good, is it now? Cats on this floor generation are especially deadly because of what I call the corner spiders. These 2 spiders at the end require you to hug the corner of the wall if they spawn, but if cats also spawn, they will block both corners, forcing you to hit them and possibly die if the corner spiders spawn. Okay. Nice. Oh! Oh my god, I wasn't expecting that. I just got hit by the cat. Okay. Right, and no spider up there. No cats on this floor. Please no. Oh, this is bad. There better not be a spider. Okay. Okay, good. If there was like a spider up here, I don't know if I would have been able to make it. And here we go. Now, while that was the last nightmare floor, there was still one set of floors above that posed a threat to me. An entirely new group of floors, unseen until this point, called Void Floors. Despite the intimidating name, Void Floors don't actually have anything added that can kill you, but they are incredibly dark. Since I have a lantern, I'll probably be fine, but without a lantern, they are about 5 times more dangerous as you won't be able to see most spiders until it's too late. You arrived at the first void floor. Oh my god. It's a lot harder to tell that the spiders are there, but I think I got this. Clock, next floor, my friend died to it. Thanks for the warning. Oh. Here we are! And this was it, the home stretch. Now all I needed to do was ascend 100 more floors. Oh my god. Holy big spider, dude. Is this Sakura?
Oh wow, this is soccer stuff, guys.
Guys, these are notes from the guy. Here we are. Last floor. Last floor. There it is. Oh. I really just got shadow spawn right as I reached the roof. Well, that's okay. I'm here. I am on the roof. I mean, then again, you can keep going if you want. Alright, this is all for me though. I have no reason to be here today. For now, I go down. Beating Roof, the next badge I went for was Nightmare, sitting at nearly 5 times less victors than Roof. I instantly assumed this was something to do with the Nightmare floors, so I returned to them. Upon deeper investigation, I found a room with a tentacle monster that appeared to be guarding a door on the ceiling. I had a feeling it would kill me if I just tried jumping into the door, so I tried slowly approaching it with my lantern, hoping I could disable the thing. It did more than just that, and actually gave me the key to the door, which I didn't even know I needed yet. When I entered, I was teleported to a world that looked very similar to a certain game's menu screen. In it, there was a very long string of what looked like random symbols, possibly a cipher, with 3 key parts. The first part being the number at the start, 108. This was obviously referring to floor 108, the floor where the lectern is found. I assumed I would have to find a code and put it in there. The following parts appeared as just random strings of nonsense, possibly a cipher, but I recognized them. In the game's Discord, there's a channel for reporting inappropriate notes, and in order to do that, you have to show the note's ID. Look familiar? These strings were note IDs. Since they all started with 0, they were all on floor 0. I took a screenshot and left through the black box at the end of the path, which brought me back to the floor I was on. Not wanting to mess anything up, I walked all the way back down to floor 0. Later on I realized you don't need to do this, you can just die to a spider and you'll be fine. Anyway, by using the show command in console, I highlighted the notes and continued with the next part of the code, using the third part of information shown to me. Following each note ID was 2 equal signs and a number. Since the numbers went past 26, I figured they corresponded to a certain letter in the notes, so I wrote down what letters were in those places. The code I got was QJOOH. I walked up to the lectern and typed in my code. Moment of truth. Typing in QJOOH. Please. Please. Yes! Oh my god, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Now, not only had I gotten the badge, but I had been instantly teleported to floor -1002. This was the entrance to Fate, meaning Nightmare was an alternate route to starting Fate. It took me about 2.5 hours to do Nightmare without knowing much of how to get it, but I figured that now that I had it down, I could do it much faster than the other method, which is manually walking all the way down the cellar, not to mention the time took to decipher the cellar key. On the topic of deciphering, I was now moving on to the next badge, and the one I personally anticipated the most, Answers. Answers is a bit of a notorious badge, because for a long while, the method to start it wasn't publicly available. There isn't even the slightest hint of how to in the badge's icon, and I honestly have no clue how it was even first discovered. If you're wondering how I figured it out, someone in my server earlier told someone else how to do it. You have to go to the 56th turn in the passage, and type /e ants, which will teleport you to a room. I don't think there's anything that points towards doing this in the game, but there is still so much more to the badge, as I mentioned, this is just the start. There it is. Floor 19. Alright, we got it. Let's go up now. Anyway, I'm back in the passage. Yup. Now I'm here. Some of these notes are posted before the game was created. How interesting. Oh yeah, 2016. Oh yeah, sure. There's like, oh my god.
be quiet.
And what are you gonna do if I don't?
This entire room was one big puzzle. In the room at the end were a bunch of Caesar ciphered sentences. Below each sentence was strange symbols, and on the front wall were even more of these strange symbols.
These look like parts of this. So like surely I have to organize all of these phrases. This one is spelled out. This is Yankee Oscar Uniform Victor Egg. Wonderful phrase there. Anyway, these domino pieces, I'm gonna call them that. Yeah, these correspond to these here. So let me just get all of these now. These are definitely just Caesar ciphers. Okay, so far I've done 4 of these. They're seeming to be just gibberish. If you remember, my seller key phrase was uniform echo. Both the words uniform and echo have been used in these phrases. But what I have noticed is that the shifts are different for each phrase. This one was shifted by 9 letters. This one was shifted by 7 letters. This, I assume, was shifted by 0 letters, and that's why it's normal. And this one was shifted by 6 letters. Since the phrases are gibberish, I'm just going to assume that the numbers are what is actually like the code. Okay, I finished decoding all of these, and the numbers don't go over 10, which is making me think even more that this is has to do with the shift numbers. The most important thing are these dominoes, I'd assume. This is how they're identified, each phrase. And up here at the front, you have these codes. The code had 16 tiles split into 4 parts. Each tile corresponded to a certain sentence and the shift key that decoded it. I substituted the symbols with each phrase's shift key number and got this 16-digit code. I typed the code in chat and nothing happened. Now at this point, I didn't know what to do with this code, and for a little bit I got stuck here with it. Eventually, I looked closer and noticed that the numbers had an interesting range. They were all around 6 or 7,000. I tried to figure out what that could have meant, and eventually it clicked. The last time I was in the passage, I had to add a number to Forslug's birthday to get a date. The number I had tried to add was around 7,000, and the date I got was in the time frame of the notes that were posted here. On a whim, I tried adding the first number to Forslug's birthday, and looked to see if the date I got matched up with any of the dates on the notes. Some of these pictures have to mean something, but only some of them. So the last way we did our code like this, you had to add it to Forslug's birthday. I'm gonna try doing that. First number is 6847. This is February 25th. So 2/25/2019. Is there any pictures? This one. 2/25/2019. Write that down. I might be onto something. I did the same thing with the remaining 3 numbers, and all of the dates I got also matched dates on the notes. Okay, so I have 4 pictures. These 4 pictures have something to do with something. This one, this one, this one, and this. Oh! I finished part 1, what? What do you mean? Wait, I'm back here. I didn't mean to activate that. It says I finished part 1. Sure, man. I was very confused, as I didn't know where to continue from here. The game told me I was done with part 1, but gave me nothing and told me nowhere else to go. I sat in the game thinking for around 15 minutes. I thought I may have missed something, or something could have went wrong with the game. I reviewed my footage and saw nothing that I missed, so I tried opening the developer console to see if something bugged, and instead found this. Code 1 part is 9179. Okay, hold on. It's in the console. Okay, I don't know what to do with this code. This number was a lot larger than the others. Adding it to Forslug's birthday would give a date past the date of this badge's creation. Still clueless, I wrote the number down in my notes, and while I was reviewing them, I noticed something that I had actually missed. Okay, hold on, I'm just realizing this isn't gibberish. The first letters, P-H-O-N-E, this is phone. This is enter. Phone, enter. Okay, let me sort these, hold on. You've put answers here. You've put answers here before. This time enter Skyphone. Is that like, do I put that in a lectern? So that is not it.
I was again lost until I thought of the wording the message used. It told me I had previously put answers there. The lectern I had only put codes into, but the only place where I had actually put in answers to questions was in Tragic. It was a bit of a wild shot, but I went to try it.
Okay, I might be crazy for this. It's worth a shot though, because I don't know where else I would put this Skyphone. Oh my god. Okay. Part 2 code. I didn't expect to just get kicked like that, but here we go. Surely now I put these codes in the lectern, right?
I combined the two codes and typed them into the lectern. And when I put them in, nothing happened. I tried separating them with a space, but nothing happened again. But then, instead of combining the numbers, I tried adding them to each other. And when I typed in that,
I add them together, I get this. Oh my god! Okay, let's go. I got it. Oh. Oh.
I was teleported to a different place, called an answer. It was a small island in the middle of an ocean with nothing but a tree and a bench with a note on it. The note has since been changed to read something other than its original message. I'll reveal what the updated note says at the end of this video, but for now, I'll read off the original note that was here. This isn't an ARG. It's a story. I made this when my heart was breaking. It helped me. It's been nearly 8 months now, and things are better. Part of me won't ever get over what she did to me. Her leaving hurt, but I understood. It's what she did when she left that keeps me up at night. I think in time we will all have a similar story. The one person you trust most in the world becomes the worst person you know. Sometimes my mind drifts thinking about the person she used to be. It's as if the person I once loved doesn't even exist anymore. If you ever feel the same, you aren't alone. It does get easier, and you do move on, but you'll never forget. I'm sorry I can't give you all the answers. I hope this was something. I know it wasn't easy to get here. Thank you for listening to my story. Connor. This note is presumably the end to the story told throughout these games. These games made by 4Slug weren't created with the intent of gaining money or traction. These games are 4Slug's way of expressing his experience with grief. I'm sure everyone watching this video has experienced grief before, whether it be through the loss of a loved one, a falling out with a long-term partner or friend, or through any other means. Overcoming grief is a long process, one that requires a great amount of endurance and perseverance, which is why I find it perfect that the final parts of this game and the badges following answers are just that. The 3 badges I had left were Now, Judgment, and Fate. These challenges are raw endurance and skill, as you've already solved the puzzles needed to initiate them. It's really a beautiful metaphor, as coming to terms with grief is very much only the beginning. And to start off, we're actually going to be obtaining 2 of these badges in one run. Let me explain. The Now badge is centered around an item in the game, the Now clock. It displays the exact time relative to your time zone, and it doesn't kill you when you look at it. The Now clock sits on whatever floor it is now being how many days have passed since 4Slug's birthday. This clock updates in real time, meaning it's pretty close to Judgment, at around floor 9,200 at the time of this video being filmed. There's no point in ascending all those floors and not walking the extra mile to 10,000 for Judgment, so I decided I'd pick it up on my way there, meaning it was time for me to get Judgment and ascend to floor 10,000. To explain just how hard Judgment is, I first need to put into perspective how long it takes. Using the lectern to get to floor 7,219, you still have to manually walk up a whole 2,701 floors, which takes around 6.5 hours on average. Not only is this an incredibly monotonous task, but there are countless nightmare floors, void floors, and even a new form of floor, nil floors, on the way up. The entire journey up, spiders are at full size, and your entire run will be over if you zone out for long enough and happen to stumble into a spot where one spawned. There is also no forgiveness if you die to a glitch or get disconnected hours into a run. If you're unfortunate enough, you may have to start your entire run over for an entirely unavoidable reason. With all that in mind, I woke up early the next day, joined a private server, got my lantern, and started my first attempt at Judgment. For the majority of this first attempt, my good friend Jay was in call with me, and she helped make things a lot less boring.
Hi, I'm here. I exist. I forgot the fact that there's just meet the engineer.
Yeah, there's meet the sniper earlier down, and then when meet the sniper finishes, it turns into meet the engineer. It's so funny that like there's like so many Among Us jokes like going up these floors, and then on this one you just see the 6'7" kid. It's a time capsule that can be.
It's a time capsule that still has stuff being put in it.
True. Yeah, actually true. What is Gady on about? Those notes almost just got me killed. You know what would be really funny? If I like took a URL ending to an unlisted and I named one of like the high up floors like in the 9,000s that URL, and to get there you had to walk up there.
That would be kind of funny, wouldn't it?
Here they are. Oh, it's a laser vacuum wall, wow. Made it. Oh. Back in the nightmare floors. Oh, there's cats. Why is that one swinging like that? How about you calm yourself? Or I can just pass you there. No more cats. There's more cats here. Okay. And there's one in... Oh my god. Wait, can I reset the... Okay, I can. Yeah, 'cause I don't want to have to deal with a big one too close to this door. Oh, these are cat mean notes. What the heck? This is so rude. You will never get judgment or no. Wow. It really is a lot more meaner on these floors going up.
Is that why he's nice on the negative?
I guess.
Evil cat.
Oh, there's more nightmare floors. Oh, okay. Okay, the cats keep touching me. Jeez, this is a horrible position to be in. No more cats, thank you. There's more cats. Oh, I got a big one. Okay. Normal floor. Is this floor empty? This truly is an empty floor. Wow. I'll take this floor, thank you. I have a floor. I'll come back there when I have more Robux and book papers. A lot of names on this floor. I'm back at the nightmare floors. Easily, I don't like that. Okay, don't put two of them. I don't want one of them. Stop putting that there. Stop putting the big cat. It needs to. Okay, wait. I don't know where the one on this side went, but sure. More cats. Okay.
You're not the cat.
I'm gonna sit here for a second. How did it? Was there one like right up there? I need to like. Oh yeah, so one just spawns right there. So one just spawns right there.
That is evil.
It's over. Okay. I have not had the cats spawn yet. Oh, there's a tentacle monster. No cats again. Wow, I didn't get a single cat. That's so lucky. Wow. What do you mean floor square root of 2? Oh yeah, this is a void floor. You would not be able to tell if spiders were in the webs if you didn't have a lantern. So you just have to move like there was a spider in every web to be safe. There it is. Nightmare floor time. There's cats. There's instantly cats. Oh, and there's a... Okay, there's just a vacuum wall right behind me as well. No cats on the step. There's more cats here, though.
Now, from this point on, there was a 400 floor gap between now and the next nightmare floor. It should have been a time to relax, being about 3.5 hours in, However, something happened. Something that I could have never accounted for happening.
Hello? Hello? What? Excuse me? Oh, hold on. Okay, I'm just gonna... Let me descend a bit.
I tried descending to reload the floors, thinking this was just a minor error, but what I found shocked me.
Oh, what? I'm not, like, perma-stuck on a floor. But if I go up here, I don't ascend anything.
I got soft-locked. The floors had completely stopped generating, leaving me stuck on the few that were loaded in. There was no more going up. I tried everything I could, but this attempt was truly over. I decided to leave a few notes, and after acknowledging that I could no longer continue, I ended my run. Despite a devastating and unfair fail, I was not demotivated, and the next day I continued and went for another attempt. After another 3 hours, I reached the spot where the floors previously stopped, and I was allowed to continue.
Okay, that's really good. I'm here again. Oh, I clicked on my out of bounds note first try that time. I could not click on this for the last time. Okay.
I kept going up. 8,400, 8,500, 8,600, 8,700, 8,800, 8,900. I was 4.5 hours in, about to reach floor 9,000, and I was showing no signs of stopping until I was stopped. This fail admittedly hurt. Error code 1 is the code displayed when even Roblox doesn't know what happened. The cause of my disconnect was completely unknown. This fail wasn't like the last one, where I had time to accept the reality of it being over. It was just gone in a flash, and that flash hurt. I had sunk a total of 8 hours into getting both Judgment and Now, and I had neither of them to show for it so far. I had gotten incredibly unlucky. But I know I can't get that unlucky. I knew my streak of bad luck wouldn't last forever. So, despite it all, the very next day I began my third attempt at Judgment.
I'm past my point of disconnection. There it is. Now, jump next to it. I'm approaching the last nightmare floors. Oh my god. Please, dude, please. Yes! Oh my god. It's over. I really wanna leave a note. I mean, this is where I'm gonna end this recording. If you wanna read what my note says, you gotta go up here yourself. That's just how it works. Like, what are you going to do?
Anyway, don't go up there just to see my note because I tried leaving a decal and it bugged and didn't show. But I had bigger problems to worry about. There was one badge left. One more thing to do in this game. Another opportunity to place a note somewhere cool that doesn't glitch. It was time for by far the hardest badge to obtain. Fate. The clip from earlier at the end of Bottom doesn't do this challenge justice in showing how truly hard it is. I'd argue that Fate is twice as hard, if not harder, than Judgment. Let me explain. At the start of Fate, 5 threats are instantly introduced. The first three we've already seen. Crying girls from the basement, along with vacuum walls and cats from the nightmare floors. The fourth threat is half health. Upon entering floor -1002, your max health will be capped to half of what it regularly is. Fortunately, your health value is still at 100, however once you lose that, you will not regenerate further than 50. This makes everything twice as deadly. The fifth threat is easily what makes this badge so hard, and it's ceiling spikes. Sharp rusty spikes will slowly descend from the ceiling, dealing just a little less than half your health if you touch them. Eventually, the block of rust they are attached to descends as well, and touching that instantly kills you. This is the timed part of floors that the guide mentioned, but I don't know why it says most floors are timed when these spikes are on every floor but -2000, your only break floor. Floor -2000 is the only time you'll get to rest while doing this badge. In Judgment, I could get up to go get food or use the restroom whenever I wanted, but in Fate, I don't have that luxury. While this floor may seem like a halfway point, it really isn't, as you have more than 1,600 floors left, and even more new threats are added the second you jump back in. I don't want to spoil too much of what changes after floor -2000, but just know that it gets so hard that you actually can't do it with a normal blocky avatar. Some gaps are literally impossibly tight and will force you to take damage, adding an extra RNG factor, as if you get two impossible gaps close to each other, you cannot survive. You may be thinking, why not just use one of those mini stud avatars to cheese the whole challenge? And to that, I point to the vacuum walls. If your avatar doesn't have enough mass, these vacuum walls will just nab you right towards them and you'll be unable to move away. These factors make finding the right body packages pretty difficult, but fortunately the community for this game has a standard combo to use that is skinny enough, isn't weak to vacuums, and costs 0 Robux. The problem is just that it looks like this. There's absolutely no saving this avatar. Now that I've clarified I'll be looking like that for the rest of this video, it was time for me to do Nightmare again in order to start my first attempt.
Right. I'm scared. There's nothing I can do now.
The first thing I did was instantly lose 3 of my free hits. Things only got rougher as I observed a horrifying cat spawn spot. The D generation for floors is easily the worst gen to get cats on during the first 1000 because of the door. If a Siamese spawns blocking it, it's near impossible to get around in blocky R6 and still very hard with the slim avatar. I ended up taking my first real hits of damage to one of these spawns.
Again, bro? Oh my god.
But at this point, I was 80 floors in, and had pretty much familiarized myself with this generation already and the movement patterns to navigate it safely. From this point on, I entered a flow state.
Siamese! Alright, so you may think I'd be surprised to have gotten here on my first try. I am not. In fact, I don't expect to die getting to floor -2000 at all while going for this badge. The reason why being there is more, much more. At this point, after this break, the floors got a buff. You can see on this note that is very blocked by exploiters that there is less time to reach each floor, meaning the ceiling spikes get faster. And it doesn't say it here, but the floor generation actually changes. The main paths are blocked off by walls, and you have to take new alternate paths to go down. So not only do you have less time to get there because the floor spikes, but you actually have to spend even more time because of the layout changes.
When I say these changes are serious, I mean it. This, in my opinion, is where the true challenge begins. First off, you have to completely undo all your muscle memory movement from the previous 1,000 floors, as the main paths down are now completely blocked off, forcing you to take other longer routes. If you happen to turn the wrong way, it's so much more punishing due to the increased spike speed. You'll see the spikes themselves become less of a timer and actually become a threat now, as they have enough time to reach far enough to hit you before you can descend. Not to mention, these new routes are tight, easily nearly 5 times harder to survive with cats than the previous floors. 3 hours already into this grueling run, I began my first attempt at Fate's True Challenge.
Oh my god. I got lost. I got lost. Oh my god. Oh! Okay. But holy... I'm one shot to the cat. Oh my god, this is so bad. This is so bad, dude. Oh my god. Oh, it's just... First, like, got like a strong... I keep forgetting, it's this gen that's gonna get me killed. Oh my god, I did it. Yeah. Oh my god, cat damage. Oh my god, I keep doing it. Put me down, dude. Put me down. Oh my god. I bet this is over. Holy. I'm dead. Oh, there's more cats. Nah. Whoa. What a first attempt. What a first attempt, I must say.
I had descended a total of 2,165 floors on my first attempt. That may seem like a lot, but it really isn't. The first 1,000 floors are from the Nightmare Teleport, and as I said, the next 1,000 after that aren't too hard. While not being bad for a first attempt, I only made it through around 10% of the buffed floors, descending 165 out of the total 1,622 I would need to do to get Fate. After this, I made a few slight changes to my avatar, adjusting the colors and also adding the old school run animation. I'm not sure how much this actually helped, but it looked like it would possibly allow for more leeway with tight cat caps. After that, I slept and woke up the next day. Knowing I was now familiar with the layouts past floor -2000, I sent my second attempt.
Oh my god.
I am embarrassed. While that death was certainly awful, I didn't give up. I wasn't going to die to any more stupid stuff. Or at least that's what I thought until I played my third attempt and realized that sometimes the stupid stuff is entirely out of my control. It doesn't matter if you're 4.5 hours in on a new best, just play the video.
I got this!
Wait. I verified the golden.
Yeah, I don't know how I was supposed to survive that. Although that run was a new best, it was only by about 200 floors. This, along with the cause of death, demotivated me enough to skip the next 2 days to take a bit of a break from the challenge, as I had spent a total of 14 hours on it so far. It's always a good idea to take a break if you're not enjoying a challenge. I rested, hung out with friends, and came back to Fate with a fresh mind. As it turns out, this was the best idea I could have had, because on October 3rd, 2025, I did the craziest fluke that I've ever done in a video game.
I haven't gotten hit once yet. What? No, dude. No. Oh my god, the vacuum's so strong. Oh my god! Oh my god. No! Give me this. Oh. What? No! Oh my god. No! Oh my god. Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Here it is. Here it is. How intimidating.
You may be wondering how I'm standing so close to the shadow without dying. Well, on floor -3623, the shadow will determine your fate. Basically, you need to interact with it for the badge. I haven't mentioned this yet, but the shadow acts as two things. It first acts as a coin flip, giving you a 50% chance to get the badge and a 50% chance to get kicked with nothing. But second, it acts as an anti-cheat, denying you of the badge if it has detected that you cheated. You might then be wondering, if there's still a coin flip, then why did I celebrate upon reaching the floor? Well, because from the very beginning, I knew that this coin flip would mean nothing. You see, the Fate badge has a UGC tied to it, being a back accessory of the clocks. You know, the ones that kill you if you look at them for too long. The UGC was supposed to be a cool gift for people who got the badge, but being so hard to obtain, it was a valuable item that sold for lots of Robux, which made it a target for exploiters. Slug decided to disable the badge until he could make a good enough anti-cheat, but a year later, and that anti-cheat was never made. Since the start of 2025, Fate has been disabled. And now I certainly know you're wondering why I did this all. Why I spent 7.5 hours with only one break walking down these challenging floors, along with my 15 hours of failed attempts, if I knew I wouldn't even get the badge. And my answer to that is because I don't think this game should be left to rot. Playing a dream you've had before is one of the coolest experiences I've ever had on Roblox, but sadly, the game has been slowly decaying. Over time, Roblox updates will slowly break it apart, and they've already started. During the making of this video, a change completely broke Answers. It broke the code for the E-Ants teleport into the gallery, which in turn has made the badge completely unobtainable. The change to unrated games also broke many badges in Your Last Thoughts at the End of Time, making them completely unobtainable. If this game remains unobtained, it will soon get to a point where many badges are unobtainable, and players stopping by will no longer be able to experience the game as I did, which many still do. The game still constantly averages around 10 players each day, many of them being new. In the 2 months that have passed since I got Judgment, another 50 people have obtained it as well. It's obvious that the game is still a very intriguing experience to many, so Forslug, if you're watching this, all I ask is for a few seconds of your time. I understand why you stopped developing this game, as it tells a story you'd likely want to leave behind, and you're also probably doing other things in life. However, this game is still a beautiful experience, and the most we as a community could ask of you is for the functionality of its existing content to be restored, so that we and others can still enjoy it in all that it is. And with that, I have nothing more to say. Thank you. I want to start this outro off by thanking you for watching all the way through this video. This is my first non-Regretivator video, so I have no clue how it's going to perform, and I'm low-key terrified. I put my heart and soul into making this, so I'd really appreciate if you could scroll down and leave a like real quick, and if you feel like it, a comment would also help greatly. Now, I want to say that I did place a few notes down on floor -3623, but the only ones I'll show are these two, to thank the people who helped me get down there. If you'd like to descend and share the notes I posted publicly, I don't mind. The majority of them are just positive messages meant to spread love. Also, if you decide to post notes, don't post them carelessly. Try to align them so as many more people as possible can add their own as well. I'd also like to remind you all that I have a floor up on 7504 for people to place notes about me and my channel. It's completely empty, but you have to survive a couple nightmare floors to get there. It'll probably take around an hour on average to reach. Also, I apologize about the Discord server not being out yet, and the web series IT is also not being out yet. The Discord server is in the works, I just need moderators. I'll probably post application forms on my community tab within the coming weeks. As for the web series, the first episode is fully scripted, I just haven't gotten around to animating it yet. I'm also working on a non-animated ARG on the side, so I'm kind of juggling the two. I'm sure you'll see posts about them all in the near future. Anyway, the pictures you're seeing right now are my favorite notes in this game. That's really all I have to say. I'm about to run out of song, dude. No, I'm done.
大家好，我觉得我是一个 furry skibidi guy。